we go. Conspiracy Theories Week 2. Page 8. Sociology. No, sorry. Start from the top. Conspiracy theories. From politics to paranoia. Sociology is the study of society. Sociology involves the critical analysis of the different types of social memberships, connections and institutions that constitute society across place and time. Sociology at work. Wait for the beat. Come on. Ooh. Clearly, looking for a stable psychological characteristic or cognitive biases that differentiate believers from skeptics may not be the most productive avenue for research to pursue. Instead, the focus should be turned to the study of conspiracy theories as a social and ideological phenomenon. As a number of social psychologists, including Henri Tafel, Michael Billig, Kenneth Guerin, or Sergei Moscovici, have argued over the years psychology ought to be turning its attention away from looking for psychological underpinnings of social phenomena and consider instead how specific ideologies, worldviews, and cultural traditions produce particular patterns of thinking and behavior. Put differently, it's not just the faulty reasoning causes people to endorse conspiracy-based explanations, but rather that something within those explanations, within their thematic configuration, narrative structure, and explanatory logic, leads people to exhibit these seemingly faulty patterns of thought. This suggests that central object of study should be the structure, logic, and evolution of conspiracy theories within a view explaining how and why this tradition of explanation persists in a modern society and how it sustains distinct forms of individual and collective thought and action. Byford, 2012. Analyzing conspiracy theories. Too fast. Analyzing conspiracy theories from the perspective of a sociologist and of the cultural anthropologist can shed much light on our theories. There are certain rules, beliefs, and ways of communication that are distinctive to our culture but are not found in some other cultures. We are an individualistic rather than a communitarian culture. We believe in egalitarianism, that all are created equal. Thus, in principle, we reject the idea of hierarchies, which paradoxically maintaining a class system. Rather than addressing others using family names or titles, we prefer to address people using their first name, as if we owned them, as if they are our friends. For example, Brangelina, Elvis, Barack, etc. Like the ancient Egyptians, we are obsessed with death, while performers who have forgotten while performers who we've forgotten about pass away, suddenly they are famous once again. We are accustomed in our culture to receiving brief, superficial information about things. The internet, Twitter, texting, and other technologies have encultured us to this superficiality. Thus, we yearn for deeper explanations and cultural narratives, explanations that are rarely provided. Analysis in our culture entails taking something apart and examining it in a critical way. Thus, we are prepared to be suspicious when presented with any story. Consider all of these cultural norms as you formulate a sociological analysis of any conspiracy theory. Page 9. From Politics to Paranoia. There is a word cloud here I am not going to rap. What is political science? Of course, you're learning the beat right then. Political science and the studies of power and social management have much wisdom to lend to our research. Give me the beat, and I can start the next paragraph. Or just end. That's weird. Jiving. Is there a possibility that a conspiracy theory is itself designed as a distractor? Jesse Ventura, for example, believed that the United States Air Force had intentionally disseminated stories and sightings of UFOs around Area 51 in order to distract ordinary Americans away from the actual purpose of the secret Air Force base, the testing of top-secret, highly advanced aircraft. From what sources might a conspiracy theory have been asserted? In order to distract members of society from actual truths? Who benefits from a given conspiracy theory? What is meant by bread and circuses? Assuming that a theory is true, what political position or belief is allied with a given conspiracy theory? See right wing versus left wing. So damn short. From which position or ideology does the theory's political analysis emerge? What is a false flag? Why do government organizations orchestrate false flag incidents? What is a false flag? From the false flag Wikipedia page. A false flag is a covert operation designed to deceive. The deception creates an appearance of a particular party, group, or nation being responsible for some activity, disguising the actual source of responsibility. The term false flag originally referred to pirate ships that flew off countries as a disguise to prevent their victims from fleeing or preparing for battle. Sometimes the flag would remain and the blame of the attack would be laid incorrectly on another country. The term today extends beyond naval encounters to include countries that organize attacks on themselves and make the attacks appear to be by enemy nations or terrorists, thus giving the nation that was supposedly attacked a pretext of domestic repression and foreign military aggression. Operations carried out during peacetime by civilian organizations as well as covert government agencies can, by extension, also be called false flag operations if they seek to hide the real organization behind an operation. Political Science, Week 2, page 10. Conspiracy Theories, from Politics to Paranoia, Literary Theory. Things that have been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Ecclesiastes 1:9. Literary theory is an essential tool for the analysis of conspiracy narratives. Does the narrative of conspiracy theory follow the structure of any traditional myths and legends? Analysts of narrative structure from Jung to Graves to Fry have asserted that all our stories and narratives tend to follow a similar mythological format and structure. Indeed, Fry and Graves believed that, in the broadest sense, humans tell the same story over and over again. Good versus evil. The big guy trying to crush the little guy. The little man against the gods, or man challenging the gods. Prometheanism. See also hubris. Gods disguised as mortals. Heroes disguised as ordinary people. The quest, where a person might fight foes en route to rescuing / retrieving a prize, a holy grail, a golden fleece, a ring, a sword, a beautiful maiden, etc. at the end of the journey. To understand fully the idea of literary theory, it is essential to understand the idea of an archetype. Watch Deborah Brown's video on archetypes. Brown, above, I'm not going to do that. For an in-depth explanation of Carl Jung, Jungian psychology, and Jung's study of archetypes, see Dr. Lena Medaglia Miller's PowerPoint on Jungian archetypes.pbs. Analyze conspiracy theory in terms of their similarities to traditional mythological and archetypical structures. Name specific, ancient stories to which a theory can be compared. As with the applicability of the psychoanalytic transference of other relationships and to everyday life, we often discover that the stories designed by conspiracy theorists, which they believe to be new narratives, closely resemble stories that have been told for millennia. Conspiracy Theories Week 2, page 11. Conspiracy Theories from Politics to Paranoia, Consumer Applications. Learn to discuss the consumer applications that have emerged from a given conspiracy theory. Discuss in detail, for example, how a conspiracy theory can become a brand to sell posters, t-shirts, and other merchandise. Example, people who believe that Area 51 is where the US government back engineers UFOs like to wear alien t-shirts, watch TV shows like Roswell and The X-Files, and buy video games like Area 51. Learn to recognize conflicts of interest in the world of conspiracy theories. In this age of consumerist claims about products being made without the enforced burden of accountability for one's claims, to what extent may any CT theorist be believed he is attempting to sell us a product? Perhaps a theorist is merely a clever salesperson attempting to carve a consumer niche in an area of popular culture that has not been explored. When, in 2012, Patrick Garrell warned of a huge solar flare or an impending supervolcano beneath Yellowstone Park that was set to explode, destroying the civilized world, was he really trying to sell us an underground luxury condominiums, or perhaps his book, see 2012 Phenomena? To what extent can any conspiracy theorist remain credible when he/she is greatly profiting from the sales of his book and his merchandise? I have a picture of Giorgio A. Tsoukalos above, Giorgio Tsoukalos. Click here to peruse merchandising pages from renowned ancient astronaut theorist Giorgio Tsoukalos. I said it twice perfectly. Legendary Times website, www.legendarytimesbooks.com. Remember, in writing the CT report, when you are performing analysis on the consumer applications of your chosen CT, be thorough. Name a variety of products that are connected to your CT, which can often be merely the anchor point of an entire wheel of consumer applications. Here we have a definition page. I'll do it. Conspiracy Theories Week 2, page 12 of 17. Definitions. Human Genome Project, race, the power of an illusion, documentation, sources, MLA and APA, semiotics, dissauceur, sign, signifier, signified, psychology, enemy. Milton William Cooper, behold, a pale horse, mania, transference, father complex, projection, personality disorder, delusion. Freud, Jung, archetype, Maslow, hierarchy of needs, psychiatry, mental disorder, paranoid personality disorder, schizoid personality disorder, schizotypical personality disorder, schizotypal personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, sociology, anthropology, individualism, communitarianism, egalitarianism, narrative, political science, bread and circuses, right-wing, left-wing, a list of political ideologies, false flag, Gulf of Tonkin incident, literary theory, Northrop Frye, Robert Graves, The One Story, C. Graves, Good versus Evil, Prometheus, Hubris, Quest, Mythology, Brand, Merchandising, 2012 Phenomena. I'm probably not going to wrap the sources page. That would be difficult. Or the recommended readings.